Hi everybody, it's Julie Hill here from Kazaz. I'm an independent consultant based in Gippsland in Victoria. Today I wanted to talk to you about fussy cutting. Now let me tell you first of all, if you don't know what fussy cutting is, it's simply cutting around images. So today we're going to be cutting this flower image out, and it's just cutting around the line of the image. When I joined Kazaz 8 years ago, I had never fussy cut. And when I learnt what it was, I hated it. I hated it with a passion. I don't know why now, but I did. And I used to cringe every time I saw a project or workshop that needed fussy cutting. I was just like, oh, I don't want to make that one. But you know what, it looks really good and it's worth learning how to do. So I'm going to run through now with you some tips and tricks that I've learnt over the 8 years that I've been a Kazaz consultant, and share them with you so hopefully you can improve your fussy cutting and the look of your projects. Okay, so let's get started. Now, this is the image we're going to cut out today. Before we get to that, let's talk scissors. These are the scissors that Kazaz now sells. They are made by Crafters Companion and they are fantastic. We used to have some other scissors that I absolutely loved, and when they discontinued them, I found out and I was really upset. But since then, I have fallen in love with these ones, and these ones are better. They all have this non-stick coating on them, so things don't stick to them. They don't get sticky little bits if you cut your tape with them, which I hate. They don't stick. You can also cut your magic mount, which usually makes them sticky. You can cut out your stamps with them. They are really, really good scissors. Now, if you ask in a Facebook craft group, what are the best scissors for fussy cutting? Everybody, well, not everybody, most people will tell you want really nice fine tips. Now, this pair are great for people that love the really nice fine tips. I actually don't use them. I use them for cutting threads and my yarn while I'm crocheting, because I just want to pick them up, quickly snip and put them down again. I have reasonably big hands for a female, and these little ones to me are just not comfortable. To me, the important things with scissors and fussy cutting is they need to be nice and sharp, and they need to be comfortable to hold. So these ones are great. You can use these ones if that's your choice. So if you like to have little pointy scissors, I will show you while I'm demonstrating why you don't need pointy scissors. These ones here, the middle-sized ones, are great, and I do use these sometimes. One other thing I will show you with scissors is how I hold them. I tend to hold them like this. It takes a little bit to get used to, but it gives you so much more control, because if you look at it, your pivot point here is closer to your hand. If you hold your scissors like this, it's way out here, and you don't really want that. So I tend to hold them like this, and you'll notice hairdressers hold them in a similar way. Their scissors often have a little hook bit that actually goes around their little finger as well. So yeah, you're holding it and you're getting it closer, and you're getting a better control that way. These ones, now these large ones actually do have the ruler measurements. These are great for fabrics as well, and I have used this pair to cut all sorts of things. Cardboard boxes, plastic packaging, sticky stuff, stamps, magic mount, and then I've cut fabric with them, all without missing a beat. But anyway, but you'll see these ones have plenty of room for your fingers and your thumb, so you've got lots of room to get in there and be nice and comfortable. So I'm going to demonstrate with these ones, just because I know it's going to be the extreme and it's going to freak the most people out. So back to our image. First of all, I'm just going to cut off this extra bit, because you just don't need it and it's just easier to work with. So zooming that in a little bit. Alright, so what I'm going to do now this might be a little bit hard, I'll try and keep it in camera focus for you. But basically all you want to do is work in this section here. This section here, closest to where the hinge is. You don't need pointy scissors when you're working in this section here. It also gives you a nice long blade, also then gives you a longer length for working around curves and things. So just coming in, and I'm just going to cut, just leaving a slight border, because that is the easiest way to do it. When you get into a gap in here like this, what I do is I just cut a little bit further in than what you want. That way you can turn and rotate it, and you can get your scissors into that gap. And then you're just working. Now you want to make sure that your arms are rested, so I rest my forearms on the table, and you want to really move the paper more so than the scissors. So you can come around there, And you can see I'm just moving it. Now you may also notice, it might be a bit hard to tell on camera, but I actually hold the scissors on a slight angle, and that way I can clearly see the blade and see where the line is that I'm cutting. So you go down there, once again cut a little bit further than what you need so that you can rotate it. And I always work my way around in this anti-clockwise direction because I'm right-handed, and that's the best way I can see. The scissors are in my right hand and the paper's in my left, and I work my way around. So these flowers aren't too bad to cut out, this section. They're nice and smooth. Now it also doesn't matter if your line around the edge isn't perfect. Now I know a lot of people freak out about that, oh it's not even and everything. Once it's on your project you don't notice. People are not looking at that little tiny section. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see on here, but you can see some parts of this have got a bit wider white edge and some parts haven't. Obviously it's nicer if it is all even, but nobody's perfect. And yeah, once you're on your project, you're not looking at how much white is around that black line. You're looking at the flower, you're looking at the whole project. So I'm just going to keep cutting around this bit. Now, the other option you have got is that you can actually cut right along the black edge. That can also look really good. And the trick when you're doing that is that once you've cut it out, just run a marker or something in a matching colour around the edge, because then if there's any little white bits it will get hidden. So I'm just going to keep going around here. Okay, so now we're up to these finer bits. So I'm just going to keep working along there. Now what I like to do here is to cut off the excess. You'll notice earlier I dropped the other big bit off. You don't want that weight hanging off. So once again you can come in here and just cut down. Cut a little bit. Now you do need to be careful here because you don't want to chop them off. But remember, paper is flexible. So this little bit here you can see is sitting up on my scissor blade, and I can just push it out of the way and go along. Try and get in camera. And just go back along this piece. Now it's a little bit tricky to see, but yeah, you just keep working along. So that's that one done. Just going around. Sometimes I like to do the fussy bits first. Depends on the image. This is a fairly big stamped image. If I was doing smaller bits, I would do the fussy bits first because it gives you more to hold on to while you're doing it, rather than trying to do fussy little bits at the end. And whenever you've got anything where you need to use a craft knife to cut the centre out, always do that bit first because it's much easier when you've got a solid outline to be cutting around. So I'll just finish this little bit off. Okay, so I have just cut this image out. Not once did I use the point of the scissors. Not once did I need to use the point of the scissors. Even getting into these little bits here. Now I did rush it a little bit because I was filming. You could slow it down and take a bit more time, but you do not need pointy scissors. You need scissors that are sharp and you need scissors that are comfortable. They are the most important things. Now I'll link to this stamp and to the scissors with the video. If you like my YouTube videos, go to my YouTube page and subscribe. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch.